Good morning, everybody. It is Kelly from LOCH BRIAR KNITS coming to you from a sunny Nova Scotia, Canada. It is, oh my God, I almost said November 8th. I've gone back in time. Last year was so much fun, I thought I'd do it over again. It is March 6th, which is nothing like November 8th, 2021. And we are at the Schooner House, as you can see, new setting. We haven't actually been out here since November. Maybe that's why it's stuck in my head. So it was really nice to get back out here for the weekend. We really needed a break. I think we were both feeling a little burned out. I think my camera's a bit crooked. I'm still trying to figure out the setup with my new tripod because it makes things look different, and I don't know. Like, I don't think you could see the floor before. It's like thinking, I hope there's no dust bunnies hiding back there. So welcome. I'm Kelly. This is LOCH BRIAR KNITS podcast. I don't know if I even said that. I have no idea what episode it is. 90, I'm going to guess 92 ish. So welcome to all the new and returning viewers. I saw we picked up a few more new viewers. That's awesome. Thank you very much for checking us out. And for those of you who keep coming back time and time again. And I do not have a lot to show you. I don't. Well, actually it's been 3 weeks since I podcast last, and here's why. When I podcast the last episode, I usually try to do it, if we're here, it's fine. With my husband's downstairs, it's fine. But we had my husband in the house and my stepson in the house, and trying to find a time to podcast where they weren't in the house and there wasn't noise around. And I was like, I don't remember it being this hard the last time. And then I remembered the reason it wasn't so hard is because I always do it on the weekend that we don't have our stepson, or my stepson, his son. So I realized after Vlogmas, at the end of December, I just started doing on a 2-week thing, but it was, I think I screwed it up somewhere along the way and ended up doing it on the wrong week. So that's why there's been, it's a very long explanation for why there's been a 3-week instead of 2-week lapse between episodes. But also I literally had nothing to show you. So let's dive in. First off, the Knit a Sweater in 2 Weeks KAL is still going on. It goes on until the end of the month. So anybody who wants to join in, now's the time. I did finish one sweater and I started a second, which I'm going to show you, which I have not worked on in, I think, 2 weeks. So if I want to get that done by the end of March, I got to start now. But I do have a couple of projects and a couple that I am going to also get started on. I don't think this is going to be a super long podcast. So let's jump in. Oh, also the KAL, it's the LBK 2-week sweater is the hashtag, and I'll put that down here. All of the information for it is over on the Ravelry page, but I'll also drop it down there because you can join in from Instagram if you're not on Ravelry, and also on the Ravelry page. And then I'm going to combine the participants at the end who have finished a sweater and draw a prize. So if you finished a sweater and you're only doing it on Instagram, I'm going to get you to use the hashtag LBK 2-week sweater done. I'll put that down here too. And that way I'll be drawing from like finished object threads on both sides. You don't have to finish the sweater in 2 weeks. You just have to finish it before the March 31st deadline. We started on February 1st. The 2-week is just like an attempt. So I managed to finish my first one in 14 days. I just got it in there, squeezing it in the end. This one is not going to be done in 2 weeks because I think I knitted it. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm jumping ahead of myself. So that's all the information in the Kal. It's in the Ravelry page, the Instagram hashtag, and then I'll drop the info down below. We already have, I think, 4 or 5 finished objects in the finished object thread. I haven't checked today, but I checked the other day. I think that's how many we have in there. So I am gonna get going. Let's show, since we're talking about the 2-week thing, I have started my second one. It is another Marie Green, who is Olive Knits pattern. So this is, and it's in black and white, so I don't know how well that's going to show up, but this is the one I'm doing now. It's a raglan sweater, and it's just got some like detailing going down the corner, no, the side. It's going down the side, but it's sort of a, I think, a chevron pattern. I think it's actually called, this sweater is called, I don't know, my glasses on, Kelly, so I don't know what it's called. The Stowaway. But I think it's called the Stowaway Chevron Pullover. I will put it down here. But here is what I have done. So I ran into an issue because there was, this is what I've done. The issue I had was there was an instruction that was an increase row that didn't make sense to kind of do and still get the, no, that'd be bad. And still get the stitch count that they're calling for. So I read it, I did it, and then I realized that didn't work. And then I tried to rip it out. I'm trying to get untangled here. I tried to rip it out, and then I screwed it up, ripping it out, because if anybody's watched for any length of time, you know when I think back, bad things happen. So I was like, it was literally like around, I think, maybe like here. So it wasn't that big a deal. It was only like, I think 7 rows in or whatever. So I was like, whatever, I'll just like go back to the start. And then I was counting each row to make sure I had the right stitches. And when I got to that row, what I did was I literally wrote each section, because you can kind of see, you know, you've got like different sections marked off here for like the front, the back, and the like shoulder sleeve area. So you've got them each marked off. And you have to have a certain stitch count in each of them. And she does like stitch count checks in the pattern as you're going through, which is really helpful. So I got to this one and I literally wrote it out. And right after that, there is, I think, 1 more row, which you don't increase on. And then there's a stitch count check. So I knew I had the right amount of stitches going into it. And then I tried to do the stitch count, or I went and I wrote every section out like line by line. And then before I started knitting, I counted based on what her instructions said, and it wasn't working. So I thought, I must be misinterpreting where she's saying to increase, because it was, I think it was the line where it was kind of like you knit 1, make 1, and then she was saying as if you then did that 2 more times. But if you did that, you had too many stitches. So I thought, okay, you must have to do it 1 more time. But then when I did that, it wasn't working out either. which I think that was an error on my part in retrospect. And then there's another part in the pattern where it was the same thing. So, and then I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to check further down and see if she has this instruction again. So I checked further down and it does show up again, but when you do it that way with the way I did it originally, you do get the correct stitch count, but you don't if you did it on the first one I ran into. I don't know if any of this is making sense, but anyway, so I thought, okay, I went back and I thought, I'm just going to do it this way. If I do it this way, I get the stitch count I need. And that's what I did. But I think it took about 3 tries. And then I went on the Ravelry page and asked like the question in where you can ask for assistance, but I didn't get any response. I'm like, you know what? I understand, like, if you have a lot of knitting patterns out, it's a bit of a chore being able to stay on top of probably all the questions you get. But don't put a thing there saying if you have any questions or need assistance, you know, you can use, you know, contact us here if you're not actually going to respond. Or at least put something in there saying, it may be 2 months before I get back to you. Response time may vary. Because I did that on another one too. I think it was the Rift sweater, and I never got a response. I actually had somebody send me an email on Ravelry asking, I think they had run into the same problem, asking if I'd ever gotten a response or if I had figured it out on my own and how I fixed the problem. And I had to respond saying my way to fix the pattern was I never got a response, and I just ended up frogging the whole project and didn't bother knitting it. So, which is kind of, if you're not going to get it, if you can't figure it out yourself and you're not getting a response, then I mean your options are kind of limited. So anyway, I finally figured it out, and then I managed to make a little more progress, and then I stopped. So really, like, this is how much I have done, but it is on, and I was finding it a little difficult to get a yarn that had the same gauge that she called for in the pattern. Just kind of, I'm trying to see if I have my gauge swatch in here. I did a gauge swatch because I really wanted to use this yarn. Here we are. Okay, so set that down there for a second. So I did do a gauge swatch, and I was off. I'm trying to do this from memory because it was 3 weeks ago now. 4 weeks? 3 weeks? Like March, nope, mid-February. So part of, here's my gauge swatch. The problem was I was getting the right gauge this way. I was getting the right gauge one way, but not the other way. So my size for the amount of positive ease I wanted was in between the small, or no, it doesn't really have them marked as small. So it was the second size and the third size. So I ended up going with, I'm not organized at all today. I ended up going with, oh, I know what I did. Here's what I did. I went down a needle size, but I went up a sweater size. Because the gauge I got was 19.5 and 19.5 going down and 28, no, that's not right. I think 19.5 going across and 28 down. Oh, I forget, I don't know. Anyway, what it ended up coming to, it's glaring on there, is I went down a needle size to 3.75, but I went up a sweater size. So instead of doing the second size, which I would if I had gotten gauge, I went up to the third size. But the third size would have been a little too big, so I went down a needle size. And I don't know if that's gonna work. But we're gonna find out. Okay, so anyways, as you can see, I'm not very far along. And I'm completely tangled. Okay, all right, so I think I hear my phone going off. Oh my God, I don't even know where my phone is. Anyway, so this is all I've got. And I think I'm on, how far along in the pattern am I? I am on row 14. I've checked in on my stitch count. Everything worked. And so now I'm good to go. But I'm knitting this in Wool of the Andes worsted weight in their heather base. I love this color. If anybody's been watching for any time at all, you know, kind of a burnt orange. Love. Although, that being said, I think most of my sweaters are brown. Which, by the way, today I am not wearing a brown sweater. I'm wearing pink, which I never wear. No, not a pink fan. With gray. And this one's not too bad because it's kind of like a grubby pale pink. And I do like how it looks with the gray. This is the Joji Locatelli Super Simple Summer Sweater. This was the second one I made. I made it out of Arcanite yarn. There's a name that I can't remember. It's in my project page on Ravelry. But that's what I'm wearing because it's chilly and I needed like a warm. I use this for just kind of kicking around the house because it's not really my favorite sweater. Oops. I have like little woven ends that keep peeking out. And it's in desperate need of a gleaning. But I mostly just use this for kind of kicking around the house because there's issues like, I don't know. It's just, I have the first one I did in the blue and the dark gray, which I love. I wear that all the time. That's my favorite. And then I have one that I did out of cotton, a cotton linen blend, which I don't like at all. I love the colors. But it's like I don't know. It's like, and I have the same issue on this one. It's probably something I'm doing. And I'll see if I can stand up and show you. We'll take a little segue from the sweater I was talking about. But you can kind of see, if I can show it here. Let's stick in my boobs in the camera. Like, see this here? It's like a twisted stitch. But I think it's when I did the increases because look, it's like evenly spaced all the way around. Like boop, 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 boop. And I don't know if I was doing my increases, like if it was to make one left, I was going to make one right or something. I don't know. But it shows up on this one a little bit. But it shows up on the cotton linen one like really bad. And the cotton linen did not hold its shape. So it's like all, I don't know, it's sloppy looking. And I just don't like it. But I loved the colors. Like it was almost like a smoky navy and a light gray, and it looked really, really nice. Like the colors together looked really nice. If I could get those colors in wool, I don't think I'll be knitting a cotton linen sweater again. It's just not it's not my material. It's not me. I like my wool. Superwash, non-superwash, cashmere, Mohair, BFL. Just not a cotton linen fan. Nope. So yeah. So anyways, this one, just cause it's a little longer too than what I normally like my sweaters. And I did that intentionally because if anyone's watched, I probably mentioned this sometimes. The first one I did, I originally thought was too short. And I don't know. I think I was just having like one of those days where you just feel gross and frumpy. And I was just like, I don't know, maybe I don't know. One of those days. Bad body day. And so I thought I'm going to make the next one longer. So that's what I did with this one. But I actually find this one makes me feel frumpier because it hits that spot where you just kind of feel like I feel like I look about 20 years older than I am. I just like, I don't know. So, yeah. So I just use this one. Like I keep this one for cold days when I've got to like go outside and do some work, or if we're here at the summer house and it's, you know, it's colder, not going out in public or whatever. So it's not an out in public sweater. That's what it is. Anyway, back to this sweater. Oh my God. That was a tangent. That was like epic tangent. Today is epic tangent day. So I am going to put some work on this weekend because I really do want to try to finish it by the end of March. And it is a worsted weight. So I should be able to do it. But I did notice when I did the other one, I was knitting nothing but on the other sweater. I didn't, like in order to finish it in the 14 days, I really couldn't work on anything else. So it was like total monogamy. And I think given the time I have left, I'm probably, and this one has the chevron along the side, which I'm actually gonna have to stop and think about. Thinking while I'm knitting. So I think that's what's gonna probably happen, is I'm gonna have to knit on this one kind of religiously. But what I did notice when I knit on the other one was made out of sport weight. I think, oh, I get the hiccups now. I think it was made out of sport weight, so it was, you know, like a what, tighter gauge? I don't know what the terminology is. So, but I did notice that, like my thumb here, like along here was getting, like hitchy and sore, and also kind of like down here on this hand. So I was probably, when I concentrate on things, I have a tendency to kind of like like stiffen up, I think. So I've been knitting on just kind of smaller projects. Oh, which reminds me, I finished my habitation throw and I completely forgot to bring it with me. That was like an epic finish. Everything's epic today. So I will show that on the next podcast. I did do a little thing in my stories, but that was I think last weekend. It's big. It's pretty big. So now I'm gonna start on the second one, but not until I finish the sweater. So I think after I finished the sweater and then work got really busy and I was finding it really stressful, and I was trying to do everything. I was getting things geared up to get starting with my writing again, because I'd taken kind of a break from that. And then I had to get back to my workouts because the pandemic has not been kind. And then what was the other thing I had to do? I had to fit in knitting time. I had to dye a wholesale order. So I had like all of these things going on, and I just did not have the brain power to, on top of that, I think try to knit a sweater where I really had to pay attention because it was giving me some grief. So I switched over to doing kind of more mindless projects that were like easy. I didn't really have to think. I knew the pattern by heart. So I was really concentrating on the habitation throw. And as things started getting narrow, I was like, I'm so close. I'm just going to finish this. I'm going to power through and finish this. So I did that. So I will show that in the next podcast because it's like, it's huge. But so this, so this is going to get some love this weekend. I'm going to try to get the dog hair off it. I did a little clip of the dog. It's on my Kelly L. Boyce Instagram. She was dreaming hard. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Maybe the day before. Like crazy dreaming. I put a little clip of it on there. We have, for anybody who hasn't watched, we have a golden retriever, Scout, and she would have been 1 year and 5 months as of yesterday. And she's finally starting to calm down and become a good dog. Mostly. So I do have a half-finished object. Ta-da! I finished my sock because this was one of the easy patterns that I was working on. I love this yarn. This yarn is beautiful. I like the, it's like slanted, almost slanted stripes. And it's not self-striping yarn, but just the way that the, I don't have my sock blockers here, by the way, so this is as good as we're gonna get. I put it on my hand. I don't think that's gonna work. Well, actually, this might work for this. So I did the eye partridge heel as per my usual. And then, I don't know how, I think I go up to about I kind of do a I call it a blocked toe. I think I go until I have about 12 stitches left, 12 or 14, and then I just Kitchener it. But, so I did this, and then I did what I usually do. Anytime I finish one sock, I literally start the second sock right away because I find that's the only way so that I don't have second sock syndrome. And I always like to have a sock on the go anyways, and I love a vanilla sock, but I'm starting to get itchy again to do pattern socks, but I still have the Galliano ones, and because I know I have to I literally have to think back, I think maybe 6 stitches. This is stupid. Because I have to move, I have a even number of stitches on each needle, do a magic loop. And because of the cable pattern, you need to have X number of stitches on one needle and then X number of stitches on the second needle. But it's not the same amount. So I think I either have to go back one whole row or just 6 stitches. And they've been languishing for, I think it's got to be closing in on 2 years, which is ridiculous because they're a beautiful sock and I really want them. So I think maybe what I might do is after I finish these ones, and after I finish the sweater, I'm going to go back and try to get those done because they're just beautiful. But I also like to have a vanilla sock on the go because sometimes you just need to pick something up while you're watching something that you don't have to think about. And these are kind of my go-to. We bought this when my husband and I went to Edinburgh. And this is knit or dyed in Edinburgh, if I remember. And I have my glasses on, so I can't see. I can't see the fine print. Hand dyed in Edinburgh, and the colorway is Shoreditch. Da, da, da. So this is a 75/25 4-ply. So that's her thing. I have my sister's name on here and I don't know why. I wonder if I was planning on knitting her a pair of socks out of this Sorry, Al. So anyway, for a short podcast, this feels like it's going long. I do want to finish, and I may do this before I actually dive into the sweater big time because I want to be able to wear it this winter. And this is the gratitude hat by IG and Knits. So I just have to, it's Mohair and my colorway Reaper, which is sort of a mix of kind of a navy and a gray, and then the Mohair is a dark gray, and then you can kind of see the Reaper sort of changes colors, so you get this beautiful marled look. So I'm at the point now where I have to switch over to my longer needles and switch to magic loop to do the top shaping, and then I'm done. So I don't know what's the hold up, Kelly? I think what I did was actually I may actually go a little longer. I wanted a bit of a longer brim, so I actually may knit this another inch and then, then start shaping for the top. So maybe I'll do that. Got a lot of loose yarn happening here. So that's, and this is a free pattern on Ravelry by Jose Paquin, who's IG and Knits. It's just a gratitude hat. And it's a really simple design, but I really like the shaping here. I don't know if it's showing up very well, but it goes kind of like straight across. And I really thought that was some neat shaping. So it's just like a 2x2 rib, but it was the top shaping that I really like. And I just love a simple hat. And I'm telling you, I was all about the simple projects this week and last week and most of the week before. So, but next up as well is, and I was calling this the Musselburgh hat, but I think there's a proper pronunciation because it's Scottish, and so me calling it the Musselburgh hat probably has my Scottish ancestors twisting in their graves. I apologize. So I want to look up the proper pronunciation, but I want to do that in, and I don't know how this is going to look, but I want to do it in these two colors. So this is the Aloft by Knit Picks, and this is in their carbon colorway. So it's like their dark gray. And then the Mondim yarn that my husband got me for Christmas. And the good thing about this is you start on the top shaping, and then when you get to a certain point, you're able to do a gauge. And then that will tell you how many stitches you're going to need to get the size that you want, which is like brilliant. And this was a Zolda Tiggs pattern. So I think there's quite a few people making it right now, but I think what you do, and I'll let it shows on here, but I think you knit it, you start at like the top, and then you increase out, and then you knit it a certain length, and then you decrease, and then you like put it up inside so it's doubled. It just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? And then, so it's going to be, and then you can either like wear it brimmed up, which would then, I'm thinking of those cold morning walks with the dog, or you can just wear it slouchy, which is how I normally wear my hats. Although when I'm walking the dog in the morning, I'm like, I really want warm. So I'm going to try those two together. And Then I also brought, because I may finish that sock while we're here this weekend, my next one. This is the Felici Cloudy or Rainy with a Chance of Cloud. No, Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows. And I saw this knit up. I just loved it. I loved it. So I did end up getting two, so it won't be shorty socks. I'll have full length socks on these ones. So that's everything. That's everything I got on the go. And I don't think there's really that much else. There's not much going on. I think they're starting to relift the restrictions that we had on. I think it's this weekend maybe or next weekend, because the cases have gone down. They managed to as soon as the cases started to go up again, they like slapped on the restrictions. So I was really happy about that. Not that I like being restricted, but let's get this under control and get it over with, please. There's also a vaccine. The regular vaccines, the Pfizer and the other one, are being rolled out, but there's another one coming out that's only 62% effective. The other ones are like 90-something% effective. And they're rolling that one out to people 50 and over, which I qualify for. So I'm kind of thinking that, but I think there's only 13,000 vaccines and it's going to be a first come, first serve. But you have to sign up, but I cannot find where to sign up anywhere because so I don't know if they just don't have the sign-ups available yet. Because I keep going to the Nova Scotia Health thing to watch for it. Because I'm kind of like, well, it's only 62% effective. Should I wait and get the other one that's 90-some% effective? But 62% effective is better than 0%. So I almost think it might be worth my while to get that one this year, because I'm kind of in a pretty low risk category in that I don't go anywhere. I really don't go anywhere. And it's not like we're going to be traveling within the next year. So if I can get the 62% effective one this year, and then next year, because I think you have to get it every year, go for like the 90 higher percentage one. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, I gotta figure that out. Anyway, I may not even get on the first come, first serve list because it's first come, first serve. And that may eliminate my decision. So, the other thing, I'm still reading The Starless Sea. I haven't gotten much reading in lately. I've got a bit of a book idea cooking in my head that sort of involves tarot cards. So I've read tarot cards in the past. It's been a long time, so I'm kind of refreshing my memory with how to read the tarot cards, and I've thrown in some oracle cards on that. So that's been really interesting, but it's like, again, it's like another thing taking up my time. I've also started a reset program by, I'm going to totally butcher her name, Corinne Dimitrinova. I'm saying her last name wrong. I'm going to put a link down below. She has 4 programs out, but she just released a reset program, which is 21 days. And it's a combination of yoga. It's got some yoga in it, and like kind of vinyasa flow yoga and yin yoga, which I've only done yin yoga once before, and it was years ago. And I did it this week as part of the program. And I was like, oh my God, why am I not doing this every day? It felt so good. But it also has meditation, and it's kind of like each day is something different. So you'll do like yoga and journaling, and she'll give you a journal prompt. And then the next day will be there's an intuitive movement. So for the first week, the intuitive movement was you had to stand on one foot and just like move your other leg around, like in any way that you wanted, and try to move all of the joints in it. And you kind of like swing it out this way, or swing it behind you, or bend at the knee, go like this. while maintaining your balance. So it was almost like a good, it's like a balance, ankle strengthening kind of movement, which was really interesting. You had to do it like 2 minutes on one leg, then 2 minutes on the other leg, and then do that like 3 times or something like that. It was really interesting. So I'm curious to see what the intuitive movement thing will be for this coming week. And then what's the other thing that she has? Meditation, journaling, flow yoga, yin yoga, intuitive movement. I think those are the 3 or the 5 things, and it's kind of like interspersed. You do something every day, but none of them are more than, I think, 20 minutes max. So it's kind of a good way. I thought that would be a really good way to kind of get back into the habit of doing something every day. And then once I do that, I'm going to switch over to the Abby Pollock workouts that I do, because she has at-home workouts that are fantastic. What else am I doing? We started watching The Umbrella Academy. I got totally addicted. We plowed through the first season, and now I think we're episode 4 of the 2nd season, and that is really good. And that's really about everything that's going on. How many times can I say So I think that's it. So I am going to let you guys go. I will see you in a couple weeks. Don't forget about the sweater in 2 weeks, Cal. All the information is below and on my Ravelry page. And all the links to my social media are down below. Don't forget to hit, I think I'm getting the right side, like and subscribe. Like helps us get the word out about the video or the channel, and subscribing will keep you informed of when I have new videos coming up. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna try to get this edited and up tomorrow, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.